This evening, first, a boost for river transport. A new state-of-the-art vessel arrives to serve Region 1 as President Irfaan Ali outlines plans to modernize Guyana's maritime fleet and expand capacity along key river routes. Plus, flying for less. For the first time in years, Hinterland airfares are coming down, with airlines cutting prices after major upgrades to interior airstrips and renewed pressure to pass savings to residents. Also, drugs destroyed at dawn. Police uncovered and destroyed nearly an acre of illegal cannabis cultivation in Canje Creek, Berbice, a crop valued at close to $1 million as investigations continue. Meanwhile, gunfire on the roadway. A late-night chase on the East Coast leaves a taxi driver critically injured after his vehicle was shot at near the Triumph RDC. Police are reviewing CCTV footage and hunting the suspects. And overseas, dozens killed and many more injured after a construction crane crashed onto a moving passenger train in Thailand, triggering a deadly derailment. Those stories and more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for January 15, 2026. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a late-night drive along the East Coast turned violent on Monday, leaving a taxi driver fighting for his life after gunfire shattered his vehicle near the Triumph RDC. Police have launched an investigation into an alleged incident of discharging a loaded firearm with intent to commit murder at Triumph, East Coast Demerara. The incident reportedly took place around 11:45 p.m. on January 12th in the vicinity of the Regional Democratic Council office in Region 4. The victim, a 31-year-old taxi driver from Annandale West, East Coast Demerara, is currently hospitalized in critical condition. Preliminary investigations indicate that the victim was traveling west along the public road in a motor car with another male when several motorcyclists allegedly pursued the vehicle. While proceeding along the roadway, a loud explosion was heard and the vehicle's right side glass shattered. The victim reportedly lost consciousness, causing the car to veer off course and collided with a metal railing. The injured man was rushed to the Enmore Regional Hospital, where medical officials confirmed that he had sustained a gunshot wound to the head. He remains in serious condition. Police have since examined and secured the vehicle involved as part of the investigation. CCTV footage from the area has been canvassed and retrieved, and several individuals have been contacted and questioned. No arrests have been made so far as investigators continue to pursue multiple leads. Police say investigations remain ongoing. In other news, truck traffic on High Street and Cowan Street has been strictly prohibited following serious structural damage to the bridge. Public Works Minister Bishop Edgehill announced on Tuesday. The bridge, which will need to be rebuilt, cannot support vehicles weighing more than 10 tons, including Ministry of Public Works trucks. Minister Edgehill said enforcement will be rigorous, with smart cameras installed to identify offenders. Drivers who violate the restrictions will receive summons by mail and face court action. He noted that even ministry trucks have been turned back for safety reasons. The minister clarified that recent asphalt paving on the bridge by the Special Projects Unit was done only to level a sunken section for smoother passage of cars and buses, not to repair the structural damage. Warning signs have been placed at the sites, and the ministry will work closely with the Guyana Police Force to ensure compliance, with Minister Edgehill urging all motorists to adhere strictly to the traffic rules. Moving on, residents of Region 1 Berbice are set to benefit from improved and faster marine transportation with the arrival of a newly acquired vessel that will strengthen the government's maritime fleet. President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali toured the vessel at the Georgetown Wharf on Wednesday, saying the acquisition is part of a wider strategy to modernize and gradually replace aging vessels to improve reliability, comfort, and travel time across the country.
Welcome another important piece of asset to our assets for the maritime sector, the Transport and Harbors Department. This is a vessel 2004 year of made, so almost a brand new vessel that sailed on its own power from Greece to Guyana. That is why you will see the salt water that came in. All of this will be cleaned on this floor before the vessels deployed to Region 1 and other areas, specifically designed for Region 1.
The President also announced plans to acquire additional vessels to enhance services to the Perico-Bartica route in Region 7, expanding capacity along the Essequibo corridor and supporting the movement of passengers and goods.
So we are in the process of reviewing some other vessels that are available on the market so that we can have another vessel there. So incrementally over the next 3 years, we'll also be looking at replacing all the older vessels so we can have the same level of service in all the regions.
President Ali noted that the modernization efforts include upgrades to ports and wharves in Region 1, Kingston, Perica, and other Essequibo locations to accommodate front-loading vessels of this type. Minister of Public Utilities and Aviation, Deodot Indar, stated that the vessel is powered by 3 Hyundai engines, supported by 2 generators, and features seating of 284 passengers.
So this vessel here moves around maybe 10 to 12 nautical miles per hour, and it can make the trip between Georgetown to Region 1 very quickly, right, in coastal waters. That 12 nautical miles was ocean water, which is very rough and so on. But on the coastal water, much smoother, you can work even faster. So this vessel is, the upholstery, the engines, everything are very, if you saw it, it's new, it requires care and maintenance when in operation. So we are working in tandem with Transport and Harvest to make sure that the asset, we are renewing the fleet, as the President said, to make sure we have comfortable travel, reliable travel, and the speed in which people get from point A to point B is shortened so they can go on with more productive things.
The vessel can also transport up to 51 vehicles, equivalent to 14 trucks, with an air-conditioned passenger area for added comfort. Officials says the vessel underwent rigorous international vetting and safety certification before arriving from Greece. The investment forms part of the government's ongoing push to create a modern, efficient, and reliable transport system nationwide. Stick around when we return. Police destroy cannabis field during eradication exercise at Canje Creek, and Hinterland flights get cheaper as airfare cuts boost access and opportunity.
Just chocolates, bounce into flavor. Ping pong, everybody wants some. Roasted peanuts is the true number one. Ping pong, you better get a handful. This chocolate is so incredible. What's the snack everybody craves for? Ping pong, bounce into flavor. Chocolate coated peanuts, delicious top class A plus. Ping pong, from Charles Chocolates, bounce into flavor.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE, if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025, and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change or correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GCOM registration offices will open Mondays to Fridays from 8 to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 14 hours. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Police in Berbice uncovered and destroyed nearly an acre of illegal cannabis valued at close to $1 million. Dale Jarvis has the details on the anti-drug operation.
Before sunrise on Wednesday, police moved deep into Canje Creek, Berbice, where nearly an acre of illegal cannabis cultivation, valued at close to $1 million, was uncovered and destroyed in a major anti-drug operation. The operation was carried out between 4 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. and was led by a gazetted officer along with other ranks of the police. During the exercise, officers discovered a plot of land measuring approximately 1 acre, on which about 950 cannabis plants were found. The plants, range in height from 2 to 5 feet, were at various stages of growth. Police also uncovered a makeshift camp at the location, believed to have been used by individuals involved in cultivating and monitoring the illegal crop. The cannabis plants, along with the makeshift camp, were destroyed by fire on site. However, no arrests were made, as no individuals were present at the location at the time of the exercise. Authorities reported that the operation was conducted without incident. The estimated street value of the cannabis plants destroyed is almost $1 million Guyana dollars. Police said investigations are continuing as they work to identify and apprehend those responsible for cultivating the illegal substance. The Guyana Police Force has reiterated its commitment to curbing the illicit drug trade and has urged members of the public to provide information that may assist law enforcement in future operations. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. In other news, for the first time in years, flying out of Ghana's hinterland is becoming more affordable as airlines cut fares following major upgrades to interior airstrips and President Irfaan Ali's push to ease the cost of travel for remote communities. The reductions were announced earlier this month after the commissioning of the newly upgraded Parmakatoy and Aishalton airfields. During the ceremonies, President Ali urged airline operators to pass on cost saving to passengers, particularly hinterland communities that rely heavily on air transport. In response, Maritime Airways and Trans-Guyana Airways announced a 7% reduction in airfares, while Air Services Limited implemented a 9% reduction on selected routes and expanded its fleet with 2 additional Caravan aircraft. Jazz Aviation has also confirmed that fare reductions are forthcoming. The lower fares are linked to the government's investment in rehabilitating and constructing hinterland airstrips. The airfields at Parmakatoy and Aishalton were upgraded from laterite and grass surfaces to reinforced concrete, improving safety, reducing maintenance costs, and allowing for more reliable operations. The government has also signaled plans to issue expressions of interest for the construction and financing of at least 35 additional hinterland airstrips. Officials says the reduced fares will improve access to healthcare, government services, and commercial opportunities, while supporting tourism growth and the movement of goods from hinterland communities to coastal markets. Don't go away after the break. Protests erupts in Minneapolis after ICE agents shoot a Venezuelan man during raid, and Venezuela's leadership in limbo after U.S. abduction of Maduro.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. How small to make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Ping pong from chocolates, Consinta flavor.
Ping pong, everybody want some. Roasted peanuts is the true number one. Ping pong, you better get a handful. This chocolate is so incredible. What's the snack everybody craves for? Ping pong, bongs into flavor. Chocolate coated peanuts, delicious top class A plus. Ping pong from chocolates, bongs into flavor.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors OLE if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Sunday, January 18, 2026 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027-829 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Kittins. Tonight, the United States paused immigration visa processing for 75 countries, including several in the Caribbean. Question grows over Venezuela's future after Maduro's capture. A deadly train crash shocks Thailand, and protests erupts in Minneapolis after a federal immigration raid. We begin with the new visa restrictions. The U.S. State Department will pause immigration visa processing for 75 countries from January 21st, including 7 Caribbean states, Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines to tighten public charge screening. The indefinite halt affects immigration visas only, allowing denials for applicants deemed likely to rely on U.S. public assistance, signaling stricter enforcement of long-standing rules. The U.S. capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has raised questions about who will be next to lead the country. Maduro's second-in-command is currently interim president. Many within the country say they're more focused on their day-to-day realities than politics. Al Jazeera's Norris Soto reports.
Maria Corina Machado won the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts to promote human rights and democracy. She dedicated it to the people of Venezuela. But for many inside the country, political debates can sometimes feel distant from daily concerns like work, security, and stability.
All politicians are cut from the same cloth. What's needed here is someone who knows how to lead and manage a country. If a person doesn't know how to manage a company or a country, it will go bankrupt. And it doesn't matter whether they're from the opposition or another party.
As Machado meets President Donald Trump at the White House, many see it as an opportunity for her to make her case that she is the future leader of Venezuela. Trump, for now, has thrown his support behind interim President Delcy Rodriguez. Machado and Rodriguez are longtime political enemies. Staying in Trump's good grace is key to their political survival.
In my view, she lost respect here in Venezuela, in the sense that she promised and promised and never delivered. That's my opinion. And having someone like that, it's better to be adrift.
Others say that opposition leadership today feels fragmented and that no single figure fully represents the country's diverse realities.
Of course, she's still an opposition leader. She is a leader. That woman mobilized people here, and if she were leading from the front, she would continue to mobilize people. But yes, she is a leader.
While Venezuela's institutional leadership has shifted with the ouster of Nicolas Maduro, Many Venezuelans say their focus remain on practical change rather than political titles.
The international spotlight is both on Machado and Rodriguez and how they play their role on the global stage. How well they do will determine who will be Venezuela's next leader. Nori Soto, Al Jazeera, Caracas.
At least 32 people have been killed and 64 injured in Thailand after a construction crane crashed onto a moving passenger train. The impact caused the train to derail. Al Jazeera Tony Cheng reports.
Thick black smoke billows from the back of a railway carriage. Firefighters struggle to bring the blaze under control, but this was just one part of the disaster. Further down the track, carriages crumpled and derailed. The damage done from above. Cranes working overhead, falling onto the train as it passed below. Survivors sitting dazed by the side of the tracks, a high number of head and neck injuries. Gong heard the crash from his shop nearby and rushed out to help.
I helped the rescue teams lift survivors out. The search and rescue guys went in to get the injured and the dead, and I assisted them when they came out.
That construction was taking place over an operational train track will raise many questions. The track overhead, part of a high-speed rail line built in cooperation with China, in a project plagued by delays and safety concerns. But the construction company Italian Thai will also be the focus of attention. They've been involved in several serious accidents in recent years. Well, they've just started lifting the last of the 3 carriages, and the destruction is quite incredible. This one's almost been completely cut in half, and they're doing it so they can access the areas where they believe there are still bodies. As night fell, teams of workers continued the search and to clear the debris from the tracks. And the Prime Minister arrived to survey the disaster firsthand. It's a pretty devastating disaster. What's your first impression?
There's no impression, it's only depression from what you saw, or from what you see now.
And do you think we should be concerned about safety here in Thailand?
We have always been concerned about safety, but I think we have to investigate whether they have done this in accordance with the design and methods of construction or not.
And as the cranes lifted the twisted wreckage, the search continued into the night. Here, rescue workers finding not bodies, just partial human remains. The death toll continues to rise in what appears to be the deadliest rail disaster for many years. Tony Cheng, Al Jazeera, Nakhon Ratchasima, northeastern Thailand.
A U.S. federal agent has shot a man in the leg during an immigration raid in the city of Minneapolis. Police say the incident happened while the officer tried to make an arrest, resulting in a struggle. It sparked protests on the streets, with confrontations between federal law enforcement and residents. Al Jazeera's Charles Stratford reports.
More anger and protests in Minneapolis. Police fired tear gas to try and disperse the crowds, hurling rocks, ice and fireworks after a Venezuelan man who fled a traffic stop in the city was shot in the leg by a US immigration agent.
Preliminary information indicates that there was a struggle with a federal agent in front of the resident. During the struggle, the federal agent discharged his weapon, striking one adult male. The adult male then retreated inside of the residence, where he remained inside and refused to come out. Eventually, federal agents made entry into the residence, and the individual was brought to an ambulance where he has been transported to the hospital.
The shooting comes a week after Minneapolis saw 37-year-old US citizen Rene Good shot and killed by a US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, officer.
Leave! Go home! Leave!
Minneapolis' mayor blamed the shooting on, quote, Trump chaos, and called for the immigration agents to leave the city.
Let's be very clear. I've seen conduct from ICE that is disgusting and is intolerable. If it were your city, it would be unacceptable there too. And for anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. That is not helpful. Go home. We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos.
The Department of Homeland Security said the latest shooting happened when a Venezuelan man targeted by federal officers at a traffic stop tried to get away, then crashed his car into a parked vehicle before trying to flee on foot. Minneapolis has witnessed daily protests since Good was shot dead by ICE agents on January the 7th. She was taking part in a neighborhood patrol by local activists monitoring the activities of federal officers. State and local leaders have demanded an end to what they describe as a surge in the number of ICE agents working in the city, trying to re-vet refugees who came into the country during the Biden administration. Despite those calls, the Trump administration says it will bolster the current ICE force of about 2,000 officers. Charles Strafford, Al Jazeera.
Thanks, Dominique. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3D Weather Forecast. And that's TV2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.